Have you ever wondered what it would be like to come face to face with a polar bear in the wild? For two teens on a camping trip in the Arctic, that nightmare became a reality. While they were sleeping in their tent, an aggressive polar bear attacked them, leaving them to die, and a harrowing tale to tell. In this video, we'll dive into the shocking details of this polar bear attack and explore what we can learn from it. So stay tuned and be prepared to be both horrified and fascinated by this terrifying encounter. The Arctic is a vast, desolate, and often unforgiving place. It's a land of ice and snow, home to some of the most incredible wildlife on the planet. It's a place of solitude and beauty, but also danger. For two teens on a camping trip in the Arctic, the danger was about to become a reality. The teens, who were experienced campers, had set up their tent in a remote area, far from any human habitation. They had chosen the location carefully, with stunning views of the surrounding wilderness. They had also taken all the necessary precautions, carrying bear spray and keeping a close eye out for any signs of wildlife. But despite their preparations, they were about to come face to face with one of the most fearsome predators on the planet, the polar bear. As the sun began to set over the icy tundra, Alex and Emily set up their tent in a remote corner of the Arctic. They were on a camping trip, eager to explore the rugged beauty of this remote wilderness. They had come well prepared, with enough supplies to last them for a few days. They built a fire, cooked some food, and settled into their sleeping bags for the night. But their peaceful night of sleep was about to be interrupted in the most horrifying way. In the early hours of the morning, Alex and Emily were suddenly awoken by a loud noise outside their tent. It sounded like something was scratching and clawing at the fabric. They froze in terror, unsure of what to do. Then, without warning, the tent was ripped open and a massive polar bear charged in. They froze in terror as the bear turned its head and locked eyes with them. The bear was huge, standing over 10 feet tall on its hind legs. Its fur was matted with dirt and blood, as he was having a prey just a while before, but that did not end its hunger. Alex and Emily knew they were in trouble and began to slowly back away. But as they turned to run, the bear lunged at them, its massive jaws snapping shut with a deafening roar. Somehow Alex and Emily managed to get out of the tent. They started running as fast as they could, while the bear was still entangled in the tent. They thought that they escaped, and sprinted through the dense forest, their hearts pounding in their chests. Unfortunately, they were not the only ones who got out of the tent. The bear was right behind them, its hot breath on their heels. They could hear its powerful footsteps pounding the ground, and they knew they had to keep running if they wanted to survive. As they ran, Alex and Emily tried to think of a way to escape. They knew they couldn't outrun the bear forever, and they didn't have any weapons to defend themselves. They spotted a tree ahead and quickly scrambled up it, pulling themselves up onto a sturdy branch just as the bear reached the base of the trunk. The bear stood on its hind legs, roaring in fury as it tried to reach them. Alex and Emily clung to the branch, their hearts racing as the bear clawed at the bark of the tree, trying to climb up after them. For what seemed like hours, they waited in terror as the bear circled the base of the tree, searching for a way to climb up. Alex and Emily were shaken but alive. They stayed in the tree for a few more hours, waiting until they were sure the bear was gone, before climbing down and continuing their hike. However, the bear did not go away. The aggressive beast was just hidden a few meters away from them so that Alex and Emily could not see him. Alex and Emily knew their life was in danger, but the courage they displayed was something else. They knew that they might not get a chance again to live. However, what happened next will shock you. As soon as Alex and Emily came back to the surface, the massive polar bear appeared again. This time, however, there was no chance for Alex and Emily to escape. The two teens fought back with all their might, using their camping gear to try and fend off the beast, but the bear was too powerful, too determined to kill. It clawed at their faces, tore at their limbs, and bit down hard on their necks. Blood spurted from their wounds as they thrashed and screamed in agony. Within minutes, it was all over. Alex and Emily lay still, their bodies torn to shreds. The bear stood over them, panting heavily, sated and triumphant. It was a scene of unspeakable horror, a tragedy that would leave their families and friends devastated for years to come. Alex and Emily had been inseparable since childhood. They had grown up together, gone to school together, and even attended the same college. They were the kind of friends who finished each other's sentences and knew each other's secrets. They loved the outdoors, and would often go on hikes and camping trips together. Their families were devastated by their loss. They had never imagined that a simple hike in the wilderness could end in such tragedy. Their parents were inconsolable, and their siblings were in shock. The small town they had grown up in was in mourning. As news of their death spread, their friends and classmates began to gather at their favorite hangout spot, sharing stories and memories of Alex and Emily. They talked about the time they had gone on a road trip together, the time they had stayed up all night studying for an exam, and the time they had hiked up a mountain and watched the sunset together. Their loss was felt deeply by everyone who had known them. They had touched the lives of so many people and had left behind a legacy of kindness, laughter, and adventure. Their families and friends would never forget them, and their memories would live on in the hearts of those who had loved them. The tragedy also served as a reminder of the dangers that lurked in the wilderness. It was a wake-up call for everyone who loved hiking and camping, to be more careful, to always be aware of their surroundings, and to respect the power of nature. As the sun began to set over the mountains, the bear finally wandered off into the forest, leaving behind a scene of devastation and heartbreak. It was a tragedy that would never be forgotten, a reminder of the fragility of life and the importance of cherishing every moment we have with those we love. News of the polar bear attack spread quickly, sending shockwaves through the Arctic community. Many experts pointed out that encounters with polar bears are extremely rare but can be deadly when they occur. Polar bears are the largest land predator on Earth, with a fearsome reputation for their strength and ferocity. They are also an endangered species, with only an estimated 20,000 to 30,000 individuals remaining in the wild. But for the families of Alex and Emily, these debates were of little comfort. They were left to mourn the loss of their loved ones, to grapple with the senseless brutality of the attack. Their tragedy was a stark reminder of the dangers that can lurk in even the most beautiful and remote corners of the earth. In the end, the story of Alex and Emily's fatal encounter with a polar bear is a sobering reminder of the fragility of human life in the face of nature's awesome power. It is a reminder to always respect the wild animals that share our world and to take precautions to stay safe when venturing into their habitats. May their memory serve as a cautionary tale for us all. Thanks for tuning in to this shocking and informative video about the terrifying polar bear attack on two sleeping teens. It's a harrowing reminder of the dangers of venturing into the wild, but it's also an opportunity to learn from this experience and take steps to reduce the risks of conflicts with these amazing animals. If you found this video interesting and informative, don't forget to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date with our latest content. And be sure to leave a comment below with your thoughts and questions about polar bear safety. Thanks for watching and stay safe out there.